No, that was weird, huh? So, let's get this started. Oh, let me see.
My goodness,
Boss man is outside. He's knocking on the virtual door. So let me let him in. Oh, I don't know why he keeps falling off. You there?
Yeah. You know why? Because
I don't know. Like falling off, like disappearing.
Yeah, that's because I'm on my phone. What it do? How everybody doing today?
Damn, good, bro.
What up?
Jay got that hat on. I thought that was Paul. I ain't got my man glasses on. I was about to say, yo, what's good, people? What's good? Well, you know what it is. We back at it again. We got a wonderful, beautiful, amazing, all the all the what you call them, pronouns, nouns that you say before you say something. So adjectives. That's it. Adjectives.
Oh my
God.
Yeah. We should be live on Facebook, right? We live,
man. You an intelligent dude, man. I'm just gonna say you an intelligent dude, okay?
Oh, my bad.
You're a very intelligent person, Dak. All right. I'm just saying. I know we make mistakes and all.
Sam just put her head over her face, like I don't even know what to say about this fella right now. Tonight is AARP night.
What's the difference between an adjective and a verb?
I don't. Hey, I went to private school. Yeah, that's right.
You mentioned pronoun.
Look at, we are not going to have a grammar session right now.
Look, do you really know what a pronoun is? I'm just doubting everything now. Everything's in question.
No, it's hilarious. What's funny is because when I said pronoun, when you look at this recording later, you're gonna see Sam. She just shook her head like, there's no help for this fella, right?
I don't know what to say.
You know what I mean? But all right, but let's go ahead and get started. This your boy Dak, aka Little Belly Man tonight. Yeah, I'm Little Belly Man tonight.
He got his train. He got his waist train on.
Yeah, we got a wonderful show tonight.
Man stinks.
You know what I'm saying? I got on my elastic pants tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this gonna be a good show.
Not Little Belly.
Elastic pants.
We are not elastic pants age yet.
Little Belly.
We're not there yet. That's like 65.
Hey, look at I got an AARP card.
That doesn't matter because AARP is like 50s, and we're all barreling down there if we ain't got there yet. But that's not to say elastic pants.
See, I'm in my 50s. You know what I mean? So I get 10% off at Goodwill for my pants. So that's where I go.
Okay. I might need to borrow your card there.
I will never be embarrassed again, brother. Like, you can walk around like that. I will never be embarrassed again.
But let's go ahead and get started. Jay, how you be? Tell them who you are, my brother.
Man, what's going on, man? Glad to be back, man. It's Jay aka Marine. I'm out here in Birmingham, Alabama, man. Just raising kids and slinging houses, man. So if you guys are in the Alabama area and you need some help with buying or selling a home, please feel free to DM me. PYFYK. What's going on? What's up? Light skin.
Whoa. It's Rob Deasy in the building, Mr. Keep It 1000. Yeah. Man, we got a good show, man. Hopefully y'all take the time to look at some of these links and check out this stuff. We got a great conversation coming up. I don't know who was next because I was preoccupied, but go ahead, step up to the mic.
I think that would be me because Boss Man went on first and then the Brotherhood went on next. So it is your girl Good Vibes, aka the bronchitis baddie tonight. Yeah, I got the singular and the Flonase and the chloroseptic, but I'm here. So you
got the whole kit and caboodle.
Right. I'm gonna try to make it do what it do. This is your girl Good Vibes, aka Kelly. You know me. And I'm looking forward to this topic because I'm hoping it will get a little introspective tonight and really, kind of match up the way we behave and how we connect or avoid connecting with people and prospective partners. I kind of want to see, if our audience members take the quiz and go, oh, that's why I don't call her back, or that's why I call her back too fast, and that's why it's over because she didn't call me back. And then when she called me back, I'm like, whoo, she called me back, so it's all great because I've seen all these things play out, and I really am trying to, just trying to, see what it looks like, if the people feel like their results match, their life and what they're gonna do about it. Now that we know, better, you do better. So hopefully that's what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and let our special guest introduce herself. Somebody we all know and love, and this is my girl, and I've seen her study and work of attachment style play out in the most beautiful and romantic way. So I'm excited to see, where she started and how she got to, to what I am privileged to see. Y'all may not know her as well as we do, but we're privileged to see something that a lot of people don't see. So go ahead.
Let me share a tear real quick.
So I'm Sam Smiley, aka Rita. Actually, when I first started posting, I was under my regular name, and then I created a special page because my boo asked me to. So I had to make those adjustments to keep our kind of personal life private and those types of things. But I'm happy to be a part of tonight's discussion, and it's been quite a journey, and I'm still traveling on this road to just maintaining a healthy and happy relationship. And it's a good place to be.
Okay.
That's what's up.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. So I'm gonna start with the hot topic, and then Good, you take it over from there. Bronchitis Baddie. I like that name. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to put that on the
nice. That was nice, right?
I'm gonna have to put that on the t-shirt and sell that Bronchitis Baddie. You know what I mean?
That was pretty tight.
I like the alliteration.
Right, you know what I mean? Let's talk about this damn crate challenge.
Listen.
Trying to figure out how many bears are sitting on concrete right now. Trying to figure out how many bears are sitting on concrete right now because they had crates under there. Because I ain't even know they had that many crates in the fucking world.
Yo, this is what happens when cultures bump heads. Like, when cultures start to blend together a little bit, and we're all got all this information from different cultures. Like that's some white people shit in the hood, dog. Like we don't do shit like that. Like, come on, man. Like, but all of a sudden, like, they them over there doing that. Like, they're having a good time. And guess what? This took off, man. This took off. But it's hilarious, man.
Have you seen that?
I'm never gonna do it. But
you ain't gonna do it. I think I'm gonna try it though.
Don't, bro. Don't.
Do that, bro.
Don't.
I
done seen folks landing on their neck and their shoulder, bro. Don't do it.
Right. Please, I'm telling you. So he's in kind of rehab, and now he want to get on crates.
Hey, look at
for what? For what?
So I can probably balance myself. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you've been in the gym for a little second. Don't be getting beside yourself.
Better get you a Bosu ball and stay close to the ground.
You want to properly balance yourself.
Don't get beside yourself.
Just go to the playground, get on the little balance beam thing, Practice over there in the wood chips.
I think he's gonna be zen on top of these crates, sitting up there in a state of nirvana, and it's not gonna turn out well.
You see
the guy with the blunt? He was rolling a blunt.
Yeah. Dude with the blunt was nice with it. I ain't even gonna hold it.
He takes the gold.
If you do it, Dak, make sure you post it so we can all see.
Doing it if he's not. There'd be no reason to do that in private.
Nah, post the one with Michelle getting on your ass. That's what I want to see.
Right.
You get hurt.
Who the hell you let talking you into doing that?
Thank you.
Is they gonna be over here taking care of you?
Thank you, Michelle. It's not us.
That's what it's gonna be.
We did not encourage this madness.
Take some safety precautions. Put some air mattresses on both sides at least.
Just in case.
You know what I'm talking about? On the hot parts, man. Like, if you're gonna do it, let's do it fine. Let's do it safely.
From the up to the down is gonna be too much for an air mattress. I think he's gonna hit the concrete through the air mattress.
I'm going up there, man. I'm gonna have a helmet on. I'm gonna have knee pads, back pads.
Elbow pads,
I'm
yeah.
gonna have
The
a
thing
waist
is,
trainer on, everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be
you
good.
fall on one of them. You fall on one of them crates though, dog. You fall on one of them crates.
Right, the edges, like the
Yeah,
edges.
You
yeah.
catch a corner. Oh
That's
So
Lord.
like hitting your
you have
baby
to be
toe.
out of one. You got all the edges and your bones, and you just no. I don't see anything good about that at all.
Yeah. I'm trying
But
to
I could
figure out. I
watch
want to
that
know
for. I
who
could
came
watch it
up
for
with that
days.
challenge. Hey
Oh,
Sam,
you know
hey
what you gonna
Sam,
find?
Question: where did it come
Listen,
from?
right? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I just
the
happened to see it on
origin,
TikTok one day.
Let me
the
see if I
origin
see any
story,
I have
any
no idea. Sam,
the
would you do
origin
it?
story of the crazy
origins.
game.
Mhm.
I have a fairly low center of gravity, but I don't think so.
Hey,
Well,
common
fairly
sense,
low
common
center of
sense.
gravity, right? AKA, that means your balance is awesome, right?
It is,
See,
but
that's perfect.
I don't know how tall. I might do a couple, but yeah, some
Hmm.
of the stuff I've seen where they got like 8 and 10 crates stacked. Nah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to.
yeah.
No.
Nope.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah. They gonna have to have like two of the little kid step stools for me, and
Yep.
then 2 crates in the middle. That's it. I ain't
That's
going no
it.
higher than
I'm good with that, but that's it.
Boy, you better act
Yep.
like you got a job where
So
you got to type.
so uh, Miss
Your arms
Google
got to brace
says
you.
Miss Google says it's unclear how the trend got started, but it seemed it picked up steam over the weekend when Jimmy Kimmel Live had guest host Stephen A. Smith show some clips about it, and they talked about how dumb
Oh,
they thought the trend was, and somehow
Mm.
talking about how dumb it was made more people do it.
Of course.
right,
Of course.
right,
So,
That's normal. That's
right,
Conan
right.
O'Brien joked about
Follow.
it,
When's the
so a
last
few
time we did
people
some stupid
joking
shit?
about it,
Hmm.
turned it into
Okay.
more than it was. So.
Wow, that's
I would
crazy.
not be surprised to see this on American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, you know what? That would be
You gotta
dope.
go across
I ain't even
Now
gonna
that
hold
fits
you.
for
That would
me.
be dope.
appropriations. Appropriation. You owe everybody in the hood 3%
Yep.
on
Yeah,
post.
yeah.
Y'all do
That would
that
be.
shit every time y'all do it. You gotta pay those.
No,
And you
they
see
don't
they.
want to pay us for that.
Those just the
Intellectual
people that are
property.
participated. To pay off their hospital bills.
Right, we need it for the
Right,
bill.
right.
This
Yeah,
is just the
cause
it's the
I
crate
saw one.
challenge fun.
I saw one. I'm gonna send to y'all. Dude fell and
You know they ain't
he
got
hit
no
that
insurance.
crate and he got knocked clean out. I mean, he was out.
Ooh.
And you know what I'm saying? His
that sounds
peoples
about
got
right.
nervous. I'm gonna send that to y'all, but
It only
that would
takes
be
a few crates to make it to your height. So if people are stacking 10 or more crates, that's a long way down. It's
It
a
sure
long way
is.
down.
You ain't
And
told
it's a
no lie.
wobbly, unbalanced way down. You're not
right,
catching yourself.
Oh
right.
You're not able to put your
Yeah.
arms out. I mean, there's nothing
yeah.
you're going to do to get injured. I don't see any way to not get injured doing that.
Yeah.
So my
No.
49, woo! I just made up a whole nother age. My 46-year-old.
Oh, you getting old.
I know, but I just jumped from 40 down. I just switched it like this. Like, the hell, I'm like 49. I say 49.
Wait a minute. That's
My
that bronchitis.
46-year-old self says no.
That bronchitis brain.
I guess so.
That's
These
what
these
it
good drugs that my good,
is.
paying for, I guess,
Got that.
Man, if they ain't paying me a year's worth of my salary, I ain't doing that shit. Cause you fuck
You're
around, get
making a big
hurt.
deal, so you're gonna need at least a year. It may take
Yeah,
you a year to rehab it.
yeah. Man, listen, I seen a dude literally fall straight on his neck and his shoulder, and his whole neck bent up like when he hit the ground. Nah,
I need
man.
my head. I need to be able to turn my
Nah.
head.
You been broke your neck, bump collarbone or something like that, man. You got a while to recover. You ain't gonna be sitting at no computer. You was not gonna want to sit at no computer for no long period of time.
No.
No.
Right.
And once you've got it on video, you definitely can't, go to your insurance company and beg for certain care because they're gonna say it's a pre-existing condition and you did it yourself and it was not an
Right.
accident.
Exactly.
This can be all kind of other issues
Correct.
that go along with that.
Correct.
Michelle gonna remind that every day, boy.
Ain't watching.
Every day.
Hey, my brother Bert. I don't know if y'all saw the video of me on the hoverboard.
Yes.
Nah.
He talking about me
Yeah.
on that hoverboard. Yeah.
Actually, we need to start saving these
when I saw
videos
that
and queuing them
pop
up on the show so we can show people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bloopers.
I gotta find it. Yeah. That hoverboard. Yeah, that I
Debacle.
realized that my balance is not as good as I thought it was. and we'll leave it at that.
We knew that. We knew
Right,
that when you fell
right,
down them
Bert. It's a
stairs.
pre-existing condition. Exactly.
So when I broke my toe last
Stupidity
year, right?
is a
Yeah.
pre-existing condition. That's a good one, Bert. That's a good
Oh
one.
Bro, you
man.
get hurt like every year, man. Like when that time you try to play volleyball.
Hey! You sound like Michelle now. You know she's like,
That can get hurt
Different
fishing. Okay,
every
you can
year.
get hurt fishing, then you don't need to be doing anything else. You just need to
yeah,
just
man.
Man,
Yeah, man, for real. I tore my rotator cuff playing volleyball in the pool. Who the hell does that? How can you even do something like that?
Ooh.
because you're spiking. So if you're not warmed up and you're not right and all kind
But
of things is going on and you
I
just
was
snatch your arm out the socket, it's not that hard to do.
I was jumping out the water and hitting it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
bruh,
I am
We are
taller
not
than
the same as we used to
four
be.
foot water. You know?
boy, that belly done grew big, boy. It done got them muscles tight, boy. You got to stretch.
Right. You got to be warmed up. You
You
got to
got
be
to
right. You
stretch.
got to come from the right position. You got to turn your body right.
Mhm.
You just can't fling
Hey,
your
look,
whole arm out there. We not
He
six
probably
foot.
tried to stretch as much as he could.
look here. I don't like this show no more. I quit.
We can't quit, but we can start rolling into our next
Uh-huh.
topic. We can roll into the reason why we here, and
Mm-hmm.
that would be the attachment styles. So there's some links in the chat for those that are watching. Stacy, Miss Tommy, Bert, thank y'all for being here tonight. And there's a few who chat.
Haven't
So hello
commented.
to y'all too. Who we know are here, but we can't tell. She says Stacy says no, don't quit. So you can't quit. I do have a graphic. I'm going to post that in a little bit, but the two links in the chat are a page about the different styles and kind of what their descriptions and criteria and characteristics are. And then the second one is the quiz that we all took and that some took last show so that we can kind of discuss our styles and, how they show up in our lives and our interactions with other people. So let me grab the graphic. Let's see.
And while Good is grabbing the graphic, folks, what's your we'll start with you, Rob. What was your attachment style?
So I'm secured like right on the border of preoccupied attachment. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm pretty secure whether I'm with people or without people. There's a few other characteristics from the link in there. I ain't gonna go through all of them, but I'm pretty much well balanced, know how to self-soothe, that kind of stuff. But preoccupied is a little bit different. But I'm only like real borderline on that. I'm not too close to it. But yeah, I'm secure.
Okay. How about you, Jay?
I got a mixture between secure and what do you call it? I think avoidant. I hope I'm like I've took like two different types of personality tests with this new deal I've been doing. I hope I'm not mixing stuff up. But yeah, I'm secure, and it sort of matches to what I understand. I like the I guess the avoidance part comes with the anxiety. I'd rather not I'd rather deal with things out and get it done with, or I'm cool and calm and okay with it. I don't know, but I'm usually like a level-headed dude. But then when I do go to over the edge, it's pretty messy. So, but there are a lot of stuff that I can understand from my childhood is the reason why I am the way I am.
No, that's understood. That's understood. What about you, Miss? Well, you know what? We're gonna save you for later, Miss Smiley.
Okay.
And myself, I'm avoidant. And I actually agree with that. What was interesting in reading through it, my avoidance came from relationships because as far as just an individual perspective, as far as with parents and stuff like that, I'm a secure, but relationships, I'm actually an avoidant, which was you know dead on. You Good. Good still there? Oh, all right. I'm gonna pass it on back. I'm gonna
Difficulty.
pass it on back. I'm gonna pass it on back to you. And you can go ahead and show your graphic if you want to do it and find out Miss Smiley's attachment style.
Okay, I'm still a little bit frozen, so just give me a minute.
Sure.
Okay. Well, while you doing that, Miss Smiley, what's your attachment style?
So when I first started kind of my journey, and I took a test. Actually, I took this book, Attachment Theory Workbook. Can y'all see
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
I was anxious,
Okay.
and the score, I think the cutoff was like 25.
Mm-hmm.
For anxious, and then I was just
Okay.
kind of on the edge of
The score, I think the cutoff was like 25.
Can you guys hear me reverberating? Because I can hear my like
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah, somebody's got
It
second
It's
sounds.
okay.
device.
It was me. I was just trying to see if I
Oh,
could actually work the controls from another uh, device since I'm frozen on this one. So don't mind me.
oh, okay. No
I'll
worries,
turn.
no worries. I just
I'll
wanted to
turn.
make sure. But yeah, so definitely anxious, preoccupied, and I was hedging on secure. And I've been doing lots and lots of work. As y'all may know, most of you all are
Mhm.
involved on the posts and things like that. But Mike Jones and I met about a year ago and have been dating. And when we're in a relationship, we oftentimes want to be the best for our partner. But in general, I've been on a kind of a self-healing journey for the past 3 years. So I want to be the best for myself, but also because he deserves the best, the best of
Mm.
me as well. So I've been on that journey to capture secure. And the test that I took for tonight did have
Mhm.
me at, I scored secure for the test for tonight. So my work is
Oh,
Yeah.
paying
that's,
off.
that's awesome. That's awesome, and I think that's beautiful. Michelle, you see how she mentions her guy every 13 seconds. I would appreciate if you start doing that for me too.
You're gonna be in trouble.
Oh, yes, you are. You're going to get in trouble.
I know I stay in trouble. So,
Oh, okay.
Mhm. so so Sam, how did you find out about attachment styles?
Oh, that's a really good question. Let me think.
Hmm.
Um, you know what? I'm honestly not even sure how I first started. Yes, yes, I do. I do know. I was doing some internet research just about some of the things that I would experience in my relationships, and attachment styles came up. So I was like, okay, well, let me order a book and see what this is talking about. So I actually ordered a book and started reading that, and it was talking about the different types of attachment styles. It didn't have a quiz or anything in it, and I was like, oh wow, I
Hmm.
feel like I probably am anxious because I just know some of the responses and things that I have to different scenarios. Like I get really jittery and experience a lot of anxiety. And I'm an anxious person in general. Kind of type A, very, regimented and that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
so as I started to read more and more about it and understand that anxious avoidant, or I'm sorry, the anxious attachment style was what I manifest, I was able to share that with my partner. And he took the quiz as well. And he was secure, just on the edge of anxious. And so we actually are a pretty good fit. But through that, through taking the test and everything, and reading and learning more about attachment styles, in my past, I have had lots and lots of relationships with avoidance. And it's very common for anxious types to
Hmm.
connect with avoidance, and they
Yeah.
fuel this really not great cycle of the anxious person trying to connect more with the avoidant, and the avoidance trying to run away. That makes the anxious person more triggered. So I'm very
Yep.
glad to not be in a situation with an avoidant anymore.
Uh,
And I think that's helped a lot.
yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I agree with you. We'll come back to that. Is good still frozen? Okay. Rob, what about you? How did you find out? And then Jay, you next. How did you find out about attachment styles? Do you agree with your assessment? And please don't say manage your vulnerability, Rob.
No, I ain't even gonna steal this flame like that.
No, you have, man. Not about
um,
flames.
so I learned about attachment styles when I ended up getting diagnosed as being bipolar. So the reason that I ended up kind of delving into it a little bit was because I felt like I was so secure within myself that I didn't necessarily need certain things. And what I mean by that is I could be in a relationship and I didn't need the same things other people did. Like I don't need to hear I love you all the time. I don't need to be up under you 24/7. I don't need that type of stuff. If you didn't call me for one day, I wouldn't be like, oh, you up to something. No, I'd just be like, okay, you might have been tired and just forgot. The love doesn't change. I could argue with somebody, be upset, but the love doesn't change just off of that. It's just a momentary, hey, you know, we was hot, we said some stuff. I can go back, talk to somebody. I don't mind asking for forgiveness, all of that kind of stuff. So I've always been secure myself with emotions, all of that good stuff. The hard part was is being overly secure and feeling like I didn't really need nobody for stuff. So pretty much coming up with my mother, she was going to raise me to be able to do everything that quote unquote were women's type of chores, or not chores, but womanly duties from the old, the old structure of maternal duties. But because she taught me a lot of that stuff, I didn't really need a woman for that. Like, I don't need her to cook. I don't need her to do my laundry. I don't need none of that. I can do all of that on my own. So I think that in itself kind of lent to me kind of getting a little bit more into it and learning a little bit more. I can agree with my assessment because I am like that. I just came up with two parents that were pretty much majority alike in their secure attachment styles. So it kind of just that's how they parented us. Like, you need to be secure, work, rely on yourself. You don't even need to rely on us, because what happens if we aren't here? You need to know certain things, all of that kind of stuff. So it kind of just be like, yo, you on that bullshit? Cool. I don't need that. You ain't cooking. I could cook for myself. Boo. What the only thing you can do is something that hey, I could go without that. I'm cool before I deal with some bullshit. So you know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much, my journey to it. I had to really kind of learn about being bipolar, learning triggers, learning all this kind of stuff. And then as I learned about my attachment style, it kind of lets you know and recognize and accept your style and what you are, because a lot of people are trying to be this, but you really this. So you got to really, and it's okay because you can get over here, but you really want to make sure that you relate to what it is over here so you can clean that up or move past it or learn how to deal with things differently. And if you don't, you're going to probably still be running your head in the same walls and getting the same results. So, yeah, that was my journey, man. I know I was kind of long winded, but I had, I went through a lot of different things. So,
no, I understand.
No, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with it, though.
No, I appreciate that. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, man, it got me on secure, and the other part was avoidance as well.
How did you hear about attachment styles?
I heard the question. I heard that actually. No, no. I was about to get into that. I was about to get into that. I was spitting the curry. I was spitting the curry real hard, but I'm like, you know what? Let me lighten it up. Let me lighten it up. Let me lighten it up.
Let me live tonight. Let me live tonight.
I've been, I've been working real hard these days lately, man. Got a lot of stuff on the line, so I'm closer to the edge with more these days than I am normally. But yeah, so where I learned it from was from my friend. She is this is her wheelhouse. So she's a doctor. She just as part of her dissertation was attachment theory, and so through conversation, she wrote, I'm like, what you talking about? Oh yeah, your Oedipus, blah blah blah. You kind of end up like your parents, blah blah. And apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know what I mean? We kind of have the notion of it already, but when you start talking about the attachment theory, like the attachment styles, that's a great way to start to understand yourself. It helped me understand myself. As far as how the secure reads, man, and also part of the avoidance. And so I know right now I'm dealing with, because I'm starting to understand attachment style theory. I am intentionally working on things that there's attachment style, then there's also the behavior that you pick up because of your close proximity of your parents. You just by example
Mhm.
you pick up things, and I'll wrap up here soon. But case in point, it's like my father had issues with this. He had issues with
Mhm.
just finishing what he started. You know what I'm saying? And finishing things
Mhm.
that he started. It was
Mhm.
always, and I'm like, okay, why don't I always come up with ideas always and I'll start them and I never finish them? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that are on the fire right now that's been on the fire way too long. They overcooked. I should have been already. I mean, if I had all the time in the world, you know what I mean, to get the stuff
Mhm.
done, there's life, yeah, you know what I mean, but then there's
Mhm.
aspiration that you are intentional with, and I'm like, why am I not stepping up? So just to address that, just how to get in exercise and breaking that behavior. I started working out, and but the goal was to be in the gym at least 4 times a week. I've been doing that since June. And it's starting to give me the discipline. And then I also set the goal to run a 5K mud run. Okay,
Mhm.
and that was on Sunday. And
Mhm.
okay, and I did it. I did it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw that,
I
man. I
ran the
saw that.
5K, man. I ran the 5K.
Congratulations.
That's
Yo, let me
terrific.
tell you this last
Mhm.
part, man. Like, listen, it was 2 laps around this. It was 1.6 miles, something like that, and then you had
Hmm.
to do 2 laps, right? So the first one, I'm like, oh, yo, why? I thought I knew it was a mud run, but I ain't signed up for all this, you know. So, but it was the first lap, and I came back and I finished the first lap. Everybody, yo, people were
Mhm.
getting out. Like, yeah, 1 lap's good enough for me. Like, and then I'm like, oh, should I
Mhm.
get out? Like. I asked the person, I went, yo, what you think? You ready to go? And I'm literally, please toss me this bone. Let me off the hook,
Right.
And he's like, it's up to you. It's your call. And I remember, man, like, there's a reason why I did this, is to
Right.
start something, to finish something that I started. And
Yep.
so,
No, that's
I,
beautiful,
I
man.
did that second lap, man. I mean, I regretted it. In the morning time, I was hurting, but at the end of it, but the growth, what I'm saying, there was, it's when you struggle like that, there's some injury, but the growth that you get, the strength that you get on the other side,
Mhm.
because you start to address, your issues with your attachment style, and
That
your,
is so true.
things that are right. If that's not, productive in your life, that's okay. It's time to deal with that zone, and it's you got to take the onus. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like, you know what? It's time to do something different. I'm tired of not, meet my potential when I don't have a fire under my behind. You know what I'm saying?
How's it
So
impact your relationships?
ah, so security. So, you know what? I hadn't thought about it like that. I was kind of not haven't been in relationships so like recently. So I hadn't thought about it from that particular standpoint. But I'll think about it as the show goes on, man. And if, I really haven't really applied it. Maybe I have, and because I was on this side of talking about my childhood and who I am now and
Hmm.
what I'm working on, I didn't really go into the relationship stuff.
Jay. I'm gonna give you a pass because you threw something out there, but I ain't even gonna carry you on that.
Thank you, appreciate you.
We
I know what
all
you're
heard
talking
it though.
about.
We all heard
I
it.
know
We
what you're
all
talking
heard it.
about. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
We
about.
all
Yeah,
heard it.
it is what it is, though.
Hmm. No,
I'm working
we
on
all
it.
heard it.
That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like.
All right,
You talking about
my
me being in
man.
a relationship? You not talking about me being in a
Uh-huh.
relationship? I'm real
Yep,
close.
my
Yeah,
man.
I'm already in there. Like you might well just call it. Call me. Put a
Uh-huh.
fork in
I
me,
know.
bro. Put a fork in
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I can see it in your face. Good, good. I don't know if you heard the question. What the question was what's your how did you find out about attachment styles, and do you agree with your current assessment? I'm gonna go ahead and go, then I'll pass it on to you, and you know what I mean, and let you, because I definitely have some questions for Sam, because she brought up some good points as far as different attachment styles dealing with each other,
Hmm.
which can create some challenges. Um, So as far as me being avoided, well, let me step back. So me hearing about attachment styles actually came from Sam. I had never heard about an attachment style, or nothing. She commented on one of my posts, and she had posted a couple of books, and I thank you because you know what I'm saying, it definitely opened my eyes, and
Mhm.
from there I downloaded the audio book. I went and bought the online book, and I probably read it like probably close to 3 times now. You know what I'm saying? I even told Michelle, I was like, hey, you know what? Want us to kind of look at our styles and see, you know what I'm saying, how they relate, and you know what I mean, maybe you'll understand, you know what I'm saying, why you, because I'll never say that I get on her nerves, but I'll just say why she get on my nerves, right?
That damn that.
I love you, Michelle. I love you,
You
Michelle. I
just
love you.
always in dangerous
He ain't
territory.
going on the next trip.
Right,
Nope.
right,
Hey,
right.
He
you
gonna
know,
get
you
full
sleep way
punishment.
too heavy, man. You sleep way too heavy to stop anything at night, man. Like
Dak,
Right.
you have a link
chill.
to the audiobook that I can post?
Mhm.
Or
Oh
Yeah.
yes, please.
So actually, the same book. There's a book that's called Attached, and I can't remember the authors. I want to
Is
say
this
it was
one?
like, yeah, that one right there. So
Ooh,
that
nice.
book
okay,
On
right
deck.
there,
I'll look
You
for
and
the
had it
that,
on
audio
deck.
and I'll post it. Let me look right now.
yeah. So that book right there, and that book has the audio component as well. Awesome book. It gives you some great real life scenarios to kind of help you think on a broader aspect. You know what I'm
It
saying?
does.
Me being an avoidant, like I said, as far as family lifestyle, I'm secure, but as far as relationships, I'm avoidant. And it was interesting because in reading through it, I'm an avoidant more because of my first marriage and other
Mm,
Mm,
intimate
mm,
relationships that I've
mm,
had with people
absolutely.
mm.
versus, you know what I'm saying, versus I guess you would say like a natural avoidant. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Childhoods.
right, exactly. So it wasn't from childhood, it's basically from experiences that have caused me to be an avoidant. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'ma shut up. I'ma pass it. Yep, there we go.
Wait,
I'ma pass it on. I'ma
are
pass
you
it on to
overly?
you.
It
Huh?
says you're overly sensitive to your partner. Would
Hmm.
you say that's the case?
Um, First of all, Rob, I don't like you, right? Because y'all know usually I get out all that shit, right?
I mean, I think that's everybody. Aren't you overly sensitive to your partner? I mean, that makes sense though, right?
No, so
You sensitive
overly
to your
sensitive,
partner.
right? Overly sensitive can be can have two facets of it, right? You know what I'm saying? One, overly sensitive on a negative spectrum or on a positive spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I think depending on the day, it may go either way. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there may be days where I may like, you know what I'm saying, I may cook something and I can tell Michelle doesn't like it, and instead of her saying she don't like it, she might not that she don't like my food, but you know, she might not like the way I made eggs that day. And hey, Michelle, ain't no amen in here, man. She might not like the way I made eggs. She might not like the way I
That's
make
all
eggs
right,
that
man.
day.
That's cool.
And if I felt like, you know, these are the best eggs that I made in the world, and she like, even though she don't say it, but her body language says it, then I can be overly sensitive in that aspect. You know what I mean?
And then you shut down.
Um,
You shut down for the
Mm,
day. You carry that the whole day.
no, I
that's a
don't
good
carry it
question.
for the whole day. I usually carry it for about 23 hours, not 24.
I would believe it. Be soaking in his little room,
I mean, so I
kicking
mean,
it with the
what are your
dog.
thoughts? That I
That's
mean,
the only
what
time
are
he
you
would have
thinking
kicked it with the
about?
dog.
I mean, what is your
Talking
behavior
his
like?
fries
What's
up.
the talk about your mindset though? Like, I mean, if you are overly sensitive and something ticks you
Mhm.
off, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the mind? I mean, are you angry all day? Are you anxious? I mean,
Well, not
what's the damage?
well. That's actually a good question, Jay. And it's so much
Shoot.
of, you know what I'm saying, the way I grew up, and you know what I'm saying, when you kind of grow up in aggressive environments, and then you know what I'm saying, you have a long-term relationship that didn't really and we were young, so nothing against my ex, you know what I'm saying. We were just young and we didn't know each other and we didn't know ourselves. So, you know what I'm saying, you don't know how to communicate. So as a result, you know what I'm saying, sometimes communication tends to be yelling and screaming. So now I immediately go to, hey, you know what? If we're not communicating, it's going to turn into a yelling and screaming thing, and I can't react aggressively. So what's the best thing to do? Just be quiet, shut down until I feel like I'm able to respond in a way that would be understood and not misunderstood, because someone may think that I'm emotional. You know what I'm saying? And that's even what my kids, my kids know when the holidays come, for whatever reason, I get emotional around the holidays. I want to see them all the time. I want to see the kids. So they call me Dramatic Dan. You know what I'm saying?
A dramatic that.
Right.
Dramatic
Are you
Yeah.
that.
are you like that? Are you
Yeah. Hey, hey,
like
hey,
that all the time?
we getting the hell off of me, huh? What'd you say, Ron?
Are
Oh,
you like
he.
that all the time, or is it just during the holidays?
The older I get, it's becoming more and more. You know what I'm saying? More, but younger, it was just around the holidays. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
I think you saw a post where my daughter was like, "Oh boy, this year he's starting in June. Normally he start around October and November."
Started his birthday.
Mm.
Right. You know what I mean?
God is
So
good, brother. God is good.
all the time. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and get off me because y'all,
You rubbing your eyes,
man,
dog? You
back
rubbing your
to you.
eyes? You rubbing your
Uh,
eyes? Huh? Huh?
yeah,
Huh?
I'm crying over here. I'm crying over here. I'm
Well, go
crying
ahead,
over
brother.
here.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead,
Mhm.
bro. Go ahead.
But
Ain't nothing wrong with
Um,
being sensitive.
yes,
nothing.
it
Ain't nothing
is.
wrong
Yes,
with it.
it
Ain't
is.
nothing
I'm
wrong
gonna
with
meet you in
being
that DM. I'm
sensitive.
gonna meet you in that DM. Talk shit to her. I'll tell you that much. I
But
ain't
Somebody
you,
gonna do it
like
online though. I ain't gonna
obviously,
do it
right.
on.
Uh,
all
but
good.
Okay, if
that
he can't cook, he can't clean. But
Don't tease
What
him
up,
no more.
good?
He already was vulnerable and stuff. He was
Yeah,
vulnerable.
a vulnerable
We don't need to
thug. A
tease him
vulnerable
after
yeah,
being
thug.
yeah, right.
vulnerable.
Y'all
can't
done
cook,
got
he
me
can't
out here.
clean. But he got that ring.
Hey,
He's
Michelle, be
singing. He's
quiet.
singing love
Michelle, be
song.
He
quiet.
can't help it though. If he squeezing out, be oozing out of his pores. He can't
Hey
help it.
man, it's in
He
there.
cannot
Let
help
it out. Let it out.
Not
I
today,
agree.
not today. So
Let it out.
right. So Sam, right, and I'm gonna ask this question good, and then I'm gonna throw it back to you, right?
Wait, then we. Oh,
You make sure. I want to hear. I definitely want to hear good go too.
good.
So I
Yeah.
want to make sure you wasn't skipping over her.
Oh no, 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 no! I ain't skipping over
Okay.
her. Good, good,
Okay.
good has a
Sure.
good is gonna basically run the show tonight. So that's why I'm jumping in with Sam, and then I'm
We
letting
got
Good,
you.
because Good had some awesome questions and ideas that she wanted to discuss. So you know what I mean, we got Good. Don't you know what I mean? But I want to talk. I'm asking you this question because this is something that me and Good kind of briefly chatted about. It's along these lines. And we're gonna do a clubhouse show on this, which I think is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
amazing. But you had mentioned something earlier where you said that anxious and avoidance tend to really, the opposites attract, that opposites attract theory. But I also believe that opposites attack too. You know what I'm saying? Opposites attract, but they attack.
That's a t-shirt.
And yeah, right. And something me and Good were talking about, which I think happens a lot with uh the avoidance and the anxious and disorganized, is that they speak in totally different languages. So even though they're attracted to each other, they're constantly fighting. And you had mentioned something about you're glad you don't have that. And I'm just trying, can you just kind of expound on that a little bit? And then Good, you take over. When you take over, Good, please discuss how you heard about it, the initial question was how you heard about attachment styles, and do you agree with your current assessment?
Okay.
All right. But go ahead, Miss
Sam.
Smiley.
Sam.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on my darn phone. I mean,
ARP
I
card.
definitely doing the reading. It sounds like from all the references I've read, 50% of people have a secure attachment style, and then 50% are either anxious or avoidant. And so the anxious and avoidant trap is that anxious and avoidance usually get into a relationship, and as you already mentioned before, it's a catastrophe. It is an absolute catastrophe, and I have dated several avoidants, and it is terrible for someone who's got an anxious, preoccupied personality type, because you need constant reassurance. And if there are issues within the relationship, as an anxious person, you're always trying to, address what the issues are, and avoidants are trying to evade the issues.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Right.
makes you more anxious because you want to address the issues, and they want to keep avoiding the issues, and then those emotions
Oh
just continue
no.
to,
Oh
and then it's
no.
like the anxious person becomes more anxious, which then makes the avoidant shut down, and it's just a cycle. And you can, in my experience, it just escalates, and you can't, eventually you just
Resolve.
can't get out of that cycle, and it destroys the
Mm.
relationship.
I
You can't
definitely,
find any.
I
Man, that's
definitely,
oh wow,
I definitely agree with that, and that's one of the things that
wow.
um, talked about, pre-show,
Mm.
because this last time taking well, let me start from the beginning. I learned about attachment styles when I took a relationship workshop facilitator class. So I felt a little bit of responsibility because we talk about all of these types of things, and to talk about them with no foundation or no idea of different ways of looking at relationships. I decided to do a little something on the side to kind of add a little validity, but to also be mindful of what people are going through and why, and not just philosophize. I never really say that word, but you know what I mean, about what people are going through without some backing. So even though I got secure on this quiz, and I actually talked to my therapist on the side and was like, look, I got secure, but I don't know if that's if that's what I was supposed to get. Like, what do you think? And based on what I've been going through and the healing I've been trying to do, she agrees that definitely I'm on the secure side now, but I definitely am the anxious type, or was the anxious type before, because I'm trying to head off what I have been through before. So of
Yes,
course
ma'am.
I'm
Absolutely.
I'm checking in. I'm also um, a lover, aka pleaser. So I want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that my partner is happy with me and what I've done. I'm not necessarily seeking assurance. I'm
Right.
seeking to please you. I'm flexible with certain things. You like certain lingerie, you like certain things. I want to know because I want to do that. That's the fun part of relationships to me. Pleasing my
Mm-hmm.
partner is important to me. But when you have somebody who's avoidant, they're looking for all the red flags. So you asking too many questions about what they like turns into, oh, you're insecure. Oh, you need
Yes.
reassurance. Oh, this is going to be a lifetime of me trying to reassure you. And I'm going, nah, that's not what I'm asking. Because if you tell me something I don't like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just asking what you like because I'm interested in you. I'm invested
Right.
in the relationship. I want to check in. How do you feel? Is everything okay? The last time we talked, you kind of got quiet, and then you ended the phone call. Normally we talk a little longer. Does that mean I'm
Mm.
necessarily exhibiting the characteristics of anxious attachment, or does it mean that I want to make sure that things are good? It's always this thin line
It is.
once you know what your style is. And even when you heal from a particular style, it does not mean that you may still not step one leg over the other. And I'm an overthinker. So being anxious and being an overthinker, I'm always thinking, well, did he do this because of this? And did he do this because of that? And, it becomes, like you said, this kind of back and forth. The more I want to connect and the more I want to know what he's thinking, the more he's thinking, I'm crazy, I'm
Mm-hmm.
insecure, I'm clingy, and he's pulling away. And at this stage in my life, none of that is true
Right.
anymore. It may have been true. I'm not going to lie and say,
Right.
I wasn't those things before, but I'm just trying to be, proactive. So it's definitely hard when you have these competing styles to get to a neutral ground, a place where you understand each other. And I think we're so set in our ways and so set in our styles that we don't even hear a person saying, no, that's not what it is. I want to please you. No, that's not what it is. I want things to be good between us. I want us to communicate. I don't want to have the issues that I had before. But then those things scare the avoidant person because they don't want to get that deep. They want to
Yeah,
avoid
I
all
was
that
about to
emotional stuff.
see. Yeah, no, I was about to say I agree with some of what you say, and naturally, and Sam, please jump in. Rob, jump in. You know what I'm saying? I agree with some of what you say, but I think, and I think a lot of it has to come from a lot of it comes from the style of questioning, especially for someone that's an avoidant,
Yes, true.
to make them feel comfortable. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because as you mentioned, avoidants don't want someone that's overly needy. You know what I'm saying, or someone that's overly emotional. You know what I'm saying? Avoidants don't want that, but why don't avoidants want that type of person, or someone that tends to be clingy? You know what I'm saying? And in your opinion, anybody jump in. Why do you think avoidants tend to shy away from that type of personality?
Because they're avoiding, the downfall. They're avoiding the pain. They're avoiding, a lot of things. It's already in the description. I am avoiding what either makes me uncomfortable or what appears to be, something headed in a direction that I don't want it to head in. So they're
Yep.
protecting themselves as well as the anxious person is protecting themselves, trying
Yep.
to head things off. So they both have the same goal, but because they can't communicate well together, nobody understands they both want the same thing. So,
So some people don't know how to deal with them emotions. Like I ain't know how to deal with a clean person. I ain't really know how to deal with the want to hug up on me 24/7 type person or cuddle type person. Like I ain't have that shit coming up. And a lot of the women I dealt with, they were more secure people too, secure women too. So I didn't have to be up under them 24/7 for them to know. They were the same way as like, hey, when we watch the movie or have dinner together, that's I look at that as the same way of love and spending time as we do cuddling in the room. But the cuddling part, it takes a while to get used to that with somebody when you're not used to that type of interaction. I think some people avoid that because they don't know how to deal with it. Like I still have struggled with trying to help people with grief. Like I don't know how to deal with them emotions. So I don't know what to say the
Right.
right way. I don't know. It's weird to hug because it's not a oh hey I love you type of hug. It's more of an embracing for a certain type of reason. So it's weird to me, and it's always kind of been like that since I never really had to have that type of emotional reinforcement, shall I say. Now, whether or not I wanted it is a different story. But
Hmm.
growing up the way I was molded, I didn't really need that. So it was kind of a struggle when you have someone who's like, I just want to be near you, like I love you, I want to be by you, I want that warmth and that vibe. And I'm like, yeah, but woo, it's
Yeah, right.
overdoing it a little bit. Like, woo, every time I sit on the couch, we got to be up under you. Whoa, hold on. Can I get on the chase and you get on the other side to lay down? Like,
You
whoa.
said
we don't
you
come to
ain't got
see
to
you
touch
for
me.
that though. We don't come to see you to
Nah,
sit by
it's
ourselves. We come to see you
You,
to be with you. If I was going to
But
sit
it's
up with you,
hard.
I'd stay at home.
Yeah,
right,
it's
but you
hard to
don't have to touch
quantify
me
somebody.
every day, all day. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, but
It's
I
hard to
understand what you're saying,
quantify
though,
how
right?
somebody yeah it's hard to quantify how somebody else displays their love, and that's
yeah.
why it's
Right.
like very difficult sometimes when you come across people who have like I have a very loving personality and demeanor. I just don't know how to deal with them type of emotions or that type of interaction. It don't make me a bad person to say I don't love you and I'm
No.
not going to do everything to make you. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but I feel like you got people that just want to love and want to do this type of stuff and make you feel warm, but it's just trying to get to that point. Like some people just struggle to get to that point, and I think that's probably coming up under like a provider somewhat, where I saw some of that emotional attachment, hugging on my mom and stuff like that. But my dad was military, so he wasn't really there a lot. So it was a lot of just
Mm-hmm.
mom, and my mom, shit, was on your ass.
Right.
Because I feel it for mothers when they buy themselves. Now I understand, like with a knucklehead, you gotta show love, but you gotta be on their ass too. And
Right.
sometimes for a child, it's hard to balance that because a lot of times they gotta be on your ass way more than trying to hug and love you. Because some people take that advantage of that and think you weak. So I feel like that struggle of that balance was difficult coming up, trying to relate to that.
Yeah.
Rob,
I
real
think that
quick, man, I got a
especially
question for Rob.
as men, that's especially true for y'all. Jay?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Rob. So when you get to that position where you feel uncomfortable, you don't know what to do. You know, have you sought any kind of solution or any kind of algorithm to help you in those times? You go, okay, all right, but I need to just hey, have you worked on trying to be better with that, or is it more so you wait for some sort of like trigger to make for the justification to do that work? Like, i.e.,
So
somebody that matters enough.
yeah, so the whole bipolar adds another layer too. So like
Okay.
it's hard because I gotta manage my triggers of what's gonna
Mm.
like make me feel
Ooh.
weird. Like it's hard to explain from my standpoint because if you don't go through it, it's harder to really relate. But it's a really weird feeling, like you anxious, but you kind of like just don't want to be up under them and make you kind of like just want to be to your like over to yourself kind of thing. So it's kind of
Mm.
hard to say like I'm gonna do it for you, but it's a trigger for me. So it's hard sometimes
Oh,
to be
good
in the
gracious.
middle. That's why I say I try my best a lot of times to
Yeah.
commit to certain times and certain things, and then sometimes I just can't. I cannot be around,
Oh,
like
gotcha,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird because like it's a balance. Like some days I might want to be under you, some days I might not want to be under you, and it's hard because sometimes it might send mixed signals because it's like, oh,
Right.
why you don't want to be up under me today? And I'm like, it's hard to explain. Like, I'm bipolar. Like I just really want to be over here. Like I ain't got to watch the movie with you right now. I'm gonna go upstairs and do something else. And it takes understanding. So I mean, as long as you got someone understanding, trying to work with you, you can meet in the middle.
And
Yeah.
that's, that's one of the things that is a reason why both attachments outside of secure do better with secure people, because an avoidant, when you have that response where you don't want to be bothered, a person that has an anxious or preoccupied style that's going to, they call them activating system, that is going to trigger that anxious person to feel like they're pulling away from me, there's something wrong, like why don't they want to be with me, versus a secure person, they're going to say, oh, okay, no big deal, he gets his space, whatever. And so that's why it's important, I've learned, to upfront assess what a person's attachment style is, because it's such a difficult scenario for an anxious and an avoidant to get together, because it just doesn't work. But if you get a secure person, on those days where you need your space, you're going to flourish in that relationship. And so is that secure person, because they don't have any of those worries. But if you end up with an anxious person, those days are going to be really difficult for both of you, because it's going to trigger them. And then they're going to want to be up under you even more, because they're going to think there's something they've done to push you away. And then they're going to try to draw closer to you. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Sam, I got a question. So in
Mm-hmm.
all of this, right? You talk about being anxious or avoidant, but in your own work, I think with this, the reason why we're talking about all this and understanding where we're at, right? What's the current
Right.
condition? So, but you said you started to do work to move more towards secure, even though you were anxious, right? You saw that, like, I can be, you thought to be more efficient for you to be more of a secure style, right? So in
Right.
all of this, right, I think that's the point. Right? Understand where you at, right, and then getting to place where you still might be an anxious person, but you understand your vulnerability, your anxiousness, and
For
now
sure.
you're more secure, right? What I'm saying, you take the test. I'm anxious, but I'm more secure because I'm able to deal with those triggers, in a more efficient way that's more aligned with the reality of what's going on in that situation. Correct? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Correct. Yeah. And so there's the most recent book that I've been reading. it walks you through some exercises that if you have an anxious attachment style and you have say you have an interaction with your partner that triggers some of that anxiety, then what you do is you learn to self-soothe, right? So you think through, okay, here's the situation. What about that situation made me feel uncomfortable or anxious? Does my partner exhibit any type of personality trait that would perpetuate that feeling? And if they do, what are those things that I can address with my partner so that we can get on the right page? And if they don't, then I need to get it together and realize that my anxiety is being caused more by, I'm very similar to Dak in that some of my relationships have made me more anxious and preoccupied than my childhood. It's definitely more relationship dependent. And so when you can evaluate whether or not your partner is actually doing things to trigger you or whether it's from things in your past, it allows you to be able to self-soothe, because you can say, okay, I can look at my partner anything for me to have those feelings. And so then you find those reaffirming thoughts. Okay, this is what my partner tells me. He tells me he loves me. He shows me he loves me. He does all these things. I don't have a reason to feel like this other than for that trigger. And that for me has helped me to self-soothe a lot.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that's the only reason why I've got the secure result this time around, is because I do self-soothe. I do it more often than I like to admit, because sometimes, things that people do naturally as part of their personality is something that is very similar to something that somebody who had, more sinister, motive would do. So I have to definitely go through the checklist. Am I getting attention? Am I getting love? Is my partner honest with me? Is he, showing me, consistency? Or, are we good in every other way but this one thing that I am,
Right.
anxious about? And once you go through that list, you go, I really don't have a leg to stand on. So, damn, it's me, it's me. So
Yes,
I have to let it
absolutely.
go. And if you ask yourself that real serious question, when you get really deep when you're with somebody, am I going to mess this up because I have this thing that I want this person to do or not do, because I have something that I know is not realistic. It's not rooted in truth. It's a for real chemical
Right.
and physiological reaction. Yes, my heart may be fast. I may get dizzy. I may get nervous. I may get up in the middle of the night dreaming and fantasizing about something that never even happened because of the way I feel. But that's how I feel. That doesn't mean that that's what's actually, going on. But I think something that we haven't talked about is one, I want to know how you and your partner have navigated what changes you've made and how you deal with each other to support your different styles. But I also wanted to say that sometimes we aren't supposed to be together if our styles clash that badly, if we can't communicate to each other. If I need a lot of attention and you don't want any at all, if I'm very physical and you're not, you have to ask yourself why you would want to choose a person that is completely opposite from what you need in the first place. So I think as we go down this road, learning the styles and working on the styles, we still need to talk about compatibility from jump. And when you see certain things, it may not be the work you need to be doing because there may not be anything to work on. So how did you and your partner just decide to, navigate your different styles? And was there anything that was, challenging that you had to work through?
I know Christina had asked a question when to bring up the attachment styles in dating. And, it's interesting because I started learning about these after I started dating him, because when I date people, I'm very transparent about my issues, because ain't none of us perfect and we all got issues. And even after spending 3 years, even after spending 3 years in therapy after a very toxic and destructive relationship, I felt to get into a relationship, but would require a partner to be able to work through some of those things, like being able to build trust and stuff like that. And so, when we first started dating, I told him that I've been in numerous relationships where my partners have been unfaithful. And so that is definitely so trust for me is real difficult, especially in the beginning. And so because secure attachment style, he was very appreciative of me being honest with him up front. And so he's been very consistent in his communication with me. We check in with each other. Like I'll tell him where I'm going. He tells me where he's going. We talk every day. And I don't know that he's doing anything different than what he usually does because he's securely attached. Right. So if I call him and he doesn't answer the phone, he'll, usually when we get on the phone later on, he'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I was grocery shopping, or I was on the phone with my mom, or whatever. And so for avoidance, unfortunately, a lot of times they don't feel like they owe you an explanation for anything. So so then as an anxious person, you're like, well, why didn't you answer my call or what? But I don't even know that he's doing anything specific to help the situation, but it's just who he is as a partner. That has helped for me to de-escalate a lot of the anxiety and the triggers and things like that, just because he's consistent in his communication. He happens to be an affectionate person and is very loving. So we just mesh really well.
I mean, how did he get that way? Like, he was just born like that? Or
she made him that way.
Okay.
She said that's probably how he already was.
I think that's just how he was. We have issues just like every other couple does, but the way that we communicate with one another, the fact that we're never disrespectful to one another. Do we raise our voice from time to time? Absolutely. There's intensity, there's heated discussions and things like that, but at the end of the day, we both respect each other tremendously, and our personalities mesh, and our attachment types mesh. And so I think, how did he get like that? I think we both bring out the best in each other. And I think that's what happens when a securely attached person ends up with either another secure person, or even in a relationship with an avoidant. The key is for the avoidant and the anxious to kind of avoid each other, because if you're securely attached, you're going to respond to your partner appropriately, regardless what their attachment style is. And I was very, when I learned that 50% of the population is secure, I was like, where they at?
They all on the boat together, right?
Exactly. And they were definitely.
I wonder how many lying to themselves though
in my life. So
it's always something, man. You're secure, but there's something else there. Like, it's not, the work ain't done. You know what I mean?
A lot
because one thing.
Go ahead.
No, my bad. No, I was saying one thing. One thing. Doc said last week, which what I totally agree with too, is being able to, along with being secure, but you also have to really know yourself, because you can be with someone and start off secure, and they can basically make you entirely different. You know what I'm saying? So I think someone said earlier something about compatibility. You know what I'm saying? And I think compatibility, and also what you said, respect. I think those two are really important, because no matter what your style is, if you don't have that respect for each other and some compatibility, then you can be too secure, and it's going to still go completely sideways. You know what I'm saying? Because of those.
That's very
you know what I mean? And I think that a lot of times, what happens in relationships, especially when we look at the anxious and the avoidant, is both really want to be sensitive and both, to some degree, in Rob's words, want to be cuddled. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Both of them want to be cuddled at night in the bed. He wants to be cuddled. You know what I'm saying? She wants to be cuddled. But you know what I'm saying? There's always that fear of doing that, and that fear
Mhm.
is what I think ultimately prevents people from moving out of a particular phase or a particular attachment style. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at some people, you'll notice that, you know what, this person has the same type of attachment style with everyone that they deal with. You know what I'm saying? They're avoiding even
Mhm.
with friends, family, and everyone else. You know what I mean? But
But I wonder
mhm,
if buried trauma causes people to answer those questions to them quizzes a certain way,
Mm,
which would make them
mm.
seem like a different attachment style. Because I guarantee that probably goes on a lot.
There's many
mhm,
people who actually lie to themselves. Yes,
Yeah.
we've all done it. We've all had a
Right.
tendency, to do it because
mhm,
we don't want to be
Yeah.
the damaged goods. But
right,
people that are committed to healing themselves, they take a deep breath and they go for it and they see what it is and they go, okay, well, let me work on some things and try it again. It's the same thing when you're learning anything in life. I mean, you may not pass the first test. You go back and you study and you see which main topics you're shady on, and you write some notes and you study and you take it again. And this is no different.
Absolutely.
I wanted to address when you said that you don't see the 50% of the secure people, and I think that's because when they realize that these people have all these other attachment styles, they may not know it as a style, but they see that there's some
Mhm.
incompatibility there. And a person who is healed and secure, they do have some room, to work with people. I've never met a secure person who wasn't willing to try if there was something valuable, there, if they were clicking and there's some connection. But a healthy and secure person is not going to open their eyes most of the time and walk into something where they know this person has problems that are too much to overcome. So if
Mm,
Sure.
you're an attachment style in healing, that's something you can
mm,
work through because you can verbalize it. If you're an
Right.
attachment
mm.
style who's not in healing or who's in denial, there's no secure person that's going to hold your hand and walk into the sunset knowing this is going to be a battle, all the time. Um, I saw
Excuse me.
somebody made a comment about it starts with good communication, and we may not call it an attachment style. Bless you, bro. We may
Thank
not know that that's an attachment style, but it's good to tell a person what your issues are, what your triggers are, which things make you feel some kind of way. Those things need to be brought out and dumped on the table so that you can figure out how you're gonna relate to people and how you're gonna you know be there and be supportive and be a romantic partner. This is very similar to the love languages. It's just
you.
presented in a
Mm,
different type of way. Some people want that physical touch, and other people just want to know that you're there. They can tell that you care about them by what you do, how you are in their life, how you show up, and they may not need that. So all of these things are things we need to be aware of in ourselves and definitely in our partners. So
Well, and that's a really good point because I know Mike Jones and I have talked about that a bit with regards to he sees me putting in the work. We're in a long distance relationship, which is something I had said I was never going to get into again because of
we all say
all my
never.
yeah, exactly. And then I ended up here,
mm-hmm.
but we do spend a lot of time together, and he sees me putting in the work. When I get in the bed, I got a book, I'm reading, I'm doing exercises. We are involved in some therapy together just because we are very interested and committed to spending our lives together. And so, we're working through some of those things. We're learning about what it takes to make a marriage successful and things like that,
Mm,
because
mm.
both of us are very much like my parents have been married for almost 60 years. His parents
Wow.
have been married for 55 years, and we both
Wow.
have a strong desire to have a
Yeah.
successful marriage. And
Mm,
so we're working through a lot of these things, but he's told me when I told him initially about the trust issues, he's like, I'm not sure what that's going to look like. And so we dated for a bit, and he saw me even starting putting in the work. So for people that can bring these issues to the surface and
Yeah.
recognize them, that's
Yeah.
the first step. But if you can do that but aren't willing to work on it, that's still a problem.
Exactly.
So you have to be willing to put in the work, like, and a lot of people aren't even willing to acknowledge what their issues and flaws are. And so I think that was part of it. Like he shared that's part of it, is that I was very upfront and open with him from the very beginning about some of my past struggles and my past traumas. Like we've all been through a lot, but he knew I was in therapy and had grown a lot and had been single for quite some time before opening myself up to even the possibility of a relationship. And I think with him, it made him feel more comfortable because he knew I was really actually doing the work rather than just talking about it.
So I have a question, right? Because you brought up a good point in being that we're all in a relationship, a semi-relationship, somebody that we like, somebody we kiss with our eyes closed, however you define it this week, right? How do you open up to your partner without feeling vulnerable? And when I say open up, I'm talking during those initial stages, because because like Sam just said, she said I share, I shared with him who I was, but what I'm saying, I don't know about y'all, but I know I've been in situations where I've met someone, and even though the connection may have felt good, I still did not share who I was. And you know how you hear a lot of people say, oh, well, your representative is here first and this is here first. So it's like, what I'm saying? How did you, what was it, what I'm saying, in those first week or 2 weeks that made you want to be vulnerable? What I'm saying? And I'm just gonna jump from you for a second, Sam, just so I can get everybody else in. And I'll start with you, Good. Is not a word. Is not in the dictionary. That's what my mother used to tell me.
I'm not really afraid of that. So whenever I get these questions, I'm kind of like, huh? Like I tell everybody who I am. I start off with the honesty because I'm really looking at the end goal. And the end goal is to really be with somebody who I understand, who understands me, that, we have this connection that's not just chemical. I don't want it to just be chemical, because when the chemicals wear off, then we look at each other like, I really don't like you that much.
What's chemicals? What's chemicals? What, weed?
No. When you meet somebody and you get that heady feeling and it's giddy,
some of
that is chemical. Some of that is desire. Some of that is lust. Some of that is infatuation. And those things, often wear off over time, and then you don't know who it is you're dealing with. Or, like you said, they have showed up as their representative and not them. But I prefer to put it all out on the table, and then let that person choose whether it's something they want to go down this pathway with. A lot of people, are cocky and they're in denial, and so, oh, you have issues, you're insecure, I don't want to deal with you. I'm like, okay, that's very cool with me. I'm glad I know now, so I don't waste any time. But
exactly,
I'm healed in some areas, I'm healing in others. I'm aware, and I'm going to tell you that I'm aware, and I'm going to admit when I'm aware of something that I'm doing. And when a person is really invested in making something real and they know who you are as a person, then they appreciate having that choice and that information up front. Just like Sam, my partner is ahead of me when it comes to therapy and when it comes to relationships. He's been single longer than I have been single, so he's already completed some of the work that I'm still working on. And I'm, pretty upfront and honest, and I ask a lot of questions, and and he said, well, you're doing the work. You started off doing the work. You're committed to doing the work. I'm here for you because I did the work and I know what it takes, and we're good. I can support you with it because I'm ahead of you in certain things. And so being real lets a person know where they can, if there's a place that they can get in and fit in, and it also lets a person know who is not into doing that work and who doesn't want to deal with somebody who's in therapy and has, issues, or that they think, they can find someone who doesn't. Good luck to them. It's not really out there. But,
exactly.
putting the things out there up front kind of lets you know what kind of person you have as well. You get a person who will run, or you get a person who will stay. So all of this communication and honesty and vulnerability is what sets the foundation for, the best relationships. And once you can be honest, whoo, you think them chemicals was bad in the beginning? Once you know a man or woman loves you anyway and is willing to
Hey,
Yeah,
help you,
yeah,
you know what
girl,
they
say
get?
that.
All
yeah,
of that. So I hear every
That's the
day,
yes.
truth.
men aren't vulnerable. Men aren't emotional. Men won't deal with women who have
Mm,
problems like this. Men won't deal with
mm,
crying. Women don't deal with
mm,
men all of this stuff. And
mm.
then we meet people and we're getting everything that the world said we couldn't get because we're doing the work. So y'all out
Cause you
there,
get,
you can do
yep.
the work and find somebody that everybody tells you doesn't exist, or you can hold
Yep.
on to your attachment style and be out here bitter and say there's no good
Mm-hmm.
men and there's no good women. It's really
Right.
up to you.
Right.
True
God is good,
story.
man. God is good. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll say, man, it sounds like it's courage, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you want you are who you are, and now you have the courage to stand on your own 2 feet, and be okay with rejection. You know, it's not. I mean, it's not your fault. You being who you are. If it doesn't align, it doesn't align. So I think it's really important that to have this tool of understanding yourself. So I'm talking about the attachment styles. You know, uh, go do the love language thing too. Or whatever else that can help you
Mhm.
get to that point of what you were talking about earlier, Sam, about getting to the point where you ready to do your work. You take ownership on doing the work because you understand where you are in life and you ready to do better. You know, so it's so yeah, it's yeah for me like it sounds like it takes courage to be like, okay, yeah, man, like to be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because why? I think we all got that avoidance in us, right? We want to avoid the uncomfortable conversation with yourself, to deal with something. Like, or it's part of our human condition. I think we all try to avoid the things that are just difficult, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's just what
I
we
agree.
all do it. Like whether you're secure or not. Like I'm secure, and I'll do a lot of avoiding things. You know
Yeah,
what I
don't
mean?
Right.
forget.
And yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so it is. It's the courage of being honest with yourself in the moment that you're in. You're not afraid of being wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you're not always
Absolutely.
going to be right. Because of your attachment style, how you were growing up, and what you think that you know. If you don't challenge that and be vulnerable enough, if you have the courage to be vulnerable enough, then you won't get past that precipice so that you can get all of a sudden be really secure in yourself and your partner.
Mhm.
And that's what it's all about. Good, you explained it well. Like when you with somebody and you with that person, like they down for you, like they know you're dirt. You know what I'm saying? They love you anyway. You know what I'm saying? The unconditional thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like like it's here. Like
yes,
there is nothing that we need to hide from each other. Like
nope.
Yes,
there's not gonna
sir.
be something stuck in the back of my mind. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to deal with this at some point. Or I'm just it's gonna be a good little 18 months and I'm gonna be gone. Type of deal. Now you have the opportunity to really lock in and be a,
Right.
a, a lifetime mate. You know what I'm saying? To be that efficient with your person in the universe. You
Yes,
know what I'm saying?
sir.
You deserve that. I deserve that. We all deserve that. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Like I'm not gonna take it too long, but yeah, it's all these tools right here, the attachment styles, man. It just helps you to listen. Not to avoid your emotion or have to confront something, but to listen to understand, think clearly through your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times
Mhm.
that's what really clouds our judgments, clouds of what we actually listening to, our emotions, right? And you can't really get past it. So then, yeah, I think this is a great discussion, and the point that I think we really need to drive home is getting to understand that you're at that precipice, your personal precipice. You know what I mean? And having that moment that Sammy had, that Good had, that we all had in the show. Okay, all right, yeah, this is a better. There's a better me. I'm tired of just avoiding, this part of me and just making excuses for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't have to be that way, but I make an excuse to be this way because such and such. There are
Mhm.
situations and conditions like bipolar, you know what I'm saying, that Rob is doing wonderful with, man. I mean, at least what I see, You know what I'm saying? And then there's the part that, that's conditioning us. That we know that we see it. We know that, this is toxic. But hey, you make that excuse of, hey, this is who I am. So, but you got to get to that point where you reach that precipice and want to do that work, and press forward and be honest with yourself and have the courage, have the courage to be vulnerable, man. And the timing is now. It's never right. It's never going to be comfortable. The timing is now. Do it. Just lay it out there. Like, and just be who you are, and just, and do the work. Know you're going to make some mistakes. Know it's going to be painful, but the growth, and the strength that you're going to get and the happiness that you're going to realize on the other end within yourself and your partner, I'm trying to tell you. All right, I'm done. I'm good.
Yep.
Rob, what's up?
Spot on.
Yeah.
So for me, being vulnerable ain't never been a problem. Probably because my parents always demanded you to be upfront and honest and all that good stuff. So I just kind of got used to it. For me, when it comes down to like dating relationships, I tell it all off rip. I might not tell you everything first day because I believe in getting it out the way.
Mm.
But but I tell a lot about myself. I don't demand that from nobody because I don't know, what they've been through or whatever. I don't want to poke and pry right off the bat, but I do like to learn some foundational things about an individual. So, but for me, it's kind of like a love it or leave it thing. You could love it and see where it goes and grows, or you can leave it and still find happiness somewhere else. But I'm good either way. Um, Cause I don't want nobody to. I don't want nobody conforming to me. Like it's one thing to compromise. Conforming is a totally different thing. I don't want nobody conforming to me. So that's why I say like, let me let you know what you're getting into, because I don't want to hear later about, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. No, you knew everything, because I tell everything, because I don't want you to be surprised. Like I don't want you to be surprised, like, oh man, this dude just had a weird day. Yeah, I told you in the beginning what it was. You looked at it and you saw it for what it was on a day-to-day basis, but I'm entitled to off days some days, and I let it be known. I communicate very well when it comes to that, because I don't want you to feel like avoidant or anxious person to feel like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, what did I? No, you ain't do nothing today. These chemicals are just off today. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna chill over here. It's nothing you did. I'm gonna chill over here because I know right now they off, and the littlest thing is probably gonna make me go off. So I'd rather be over here. Let me get my mind straight, and then we can interact. And you got to really have somebody that's very receptive to a lot of that type of stuff, because like some people just take things the wrong way. And the one thing that I've always found was good about me is I don't mind coming back and apologizing. Not that it's great, but some people would just leave it as what I call default. Like, oh shit, we woke up the next morning, nobody's talking about it right now, so we must be good. Oh hell no, we finna talk about it. We about to talk about it, so I know where the fuck we sit at on this, because I don't like doing guessing.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
do guessing. No guessing over here, because guessing is gonna make me think worst case scenario, and we finna go worst case scenario because you ain't opening your mouth. And I asked you point blank questions. I'm asking you point blank. I'm not answering roundabout because I don't believe in that roundabout shit. I'm gonna ask you point blank. Hey, how you feel about this? We could talk about it. It's okay if
Preach.
you feel different than I do. I might be mad about your response, but we can have a conversation when we get past
It's
this shit,
real.
because at least we'll know what's
Well.
going on ahead of time. Next time we know how to handle it. But if we just do default, like, oh man, you know what? We happy this morning. The eggs is right and everything. No, everything ain't good on the home front. Now with me, it might have been in them past relationships with the mother
Yeah.
dudes. No, we can have a conversation over these eggs. But we gonna get this shit out in the open, because I don't like that guessing. Nah, I can't do guessing, baby. So
Yep.
you just got to be able to
All day.
communicate, man. Like,
All
I
day.
think a lot of times we want to try to say the men can't communicate. Shit, you'd be amazed. There's a lot of women that don't know how to communicate. I know a lot of brothers,
Mm.
but it's a lot of women. And
Yeah.
I think it's just
True.
setting that comfortable tone for them to really be able to express themselves like that. I don't know if we always set that tone to be able to do that. So you're gonna get what you want. Yeah, you're gonna get what you give. So you just got to be able to set that tone to be able to have them type of conversation with each other. And I feel like if you cannot be honest and upfront with someone, why are you fucking with them? Why are you with them?
they want the fantasy and they don't want the reality.
Shit, me, bro. That's a lot of stress on the brain. Fuck that. No, I'm good. No.
All right.
No. I know that was a little winded,
That's
but
and
No, it's
yeah.
okay.
important because you
I
should
understand though,
You
because
was
we're
right on
person.
point. Yeah.
a minute till the second hour, sir.
Yeah. Nah. I know we were definitely I don't know. We were definitely going long. Now Rob good. I mean all of y'all gave like freaking amazing responses. I don't even have anything to add. I was just being me one and being that we had 2 hours, we have a guest. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm be talking to everybody's time. So we're gonna go ahead and do our final word and go ahead and wrap it on up if y'all don't mind, my good peoples. Sam, we definitely would love to have you on again.
Yeah, I'd be happy to
You know,
do that.
and I don't know about y'all, but I think that I know we had a couple of topics for the next few weeks, but I think we should kind of dive a little deeper into this and have some more conversations about this because this is really some great stuff. I don't know about y'all, but right now, you know what I'm saying, I'm in love with this stuff right now. So you know what I mean?
You are not by yourself.
I
I'm
feel pretty
learning new
pretty
stuff every
happy
day.
and tingly myself. So it's a tingly show. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
hey, I'm old. The
God is
only thing
good.
that's
God is
single for
good.
me is 10% off coffee. So
Well, it's a tingly show, and
Oh
and
gosh.
Rob brought it like
Wow.
all the way home.
Did he?
I enjoy Sam's comment, but Rob, your last one, and not only did you put it out there, but you wrapped it up in the perfect bow with you know
Hmm.
once I make it safe for
Yes,
her
he
to
did.
communicate, you put that pretty ass bow and the sprinkles and all the man the tissue paper like poof. And I'm like, the things that we try to say in other social settings that get all drowned out and we start debating, somehow they come out naturally on this show and they come out without it seeming like we're blaming men or women. You just very naturally said, yeah, she got to be able to communicate, but I always got, I'm talking like, you know why I'm doing that, but she has to feel safe to communicate. I have to give her that space to
hold on now. You know, I
tell.
can say two words and make everybody think it's a man or woman thing and start a fight now. Y'all don't tempt me
No,
now.
you don't need to do that. The thing is, you guys are so in tune with certain things that the stuff just falls out of y'all. You don't understand because you're not us who hear the opposite, and then I'm sure I might say some things that you hear the opposite of online, but I just had to give Rob his flowers on that one because
Appreciate it.
you know.
Mm.
So,
Absolutely.
boss man,
I
sit
know,
up.
but
All day.
Yep.
Preach.
Their final thoughts.
yeah, because you like light skinned people this show. That's my final thought. You ain't say that about the Johnson
Yo, we gave you an emotional segment.
It's the
Oh.
whole rainbow thing. We
Oh.
talking about light skinned people.
Oh.
We
It's
gave
the
you the
You
rainbow.
know what
emotional
I'm saying?
segment of the show, bro.
That's why they on the show. That's why they on the show. That's why light skinned people on
brother.
the show.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't
Mhm.
I gotta round it out.
Right. So
I thought it was an excellent
so
show.
good. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
let you close this out. And we're Sam, the way we typically end it out is pretty much, everyone gives a thought or idea, a comment or something of that nature as a final thought to kind of wrap up the show. So being you're our guest, we're gonna go with you. I'm gonna go next, and then good, you pick the order from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I definitely want to thank everybody that actually, took the time out of your schedule to tune in because it's an important topic, and especially in our community, we need to work on learning how to love one another and creating healthy relationships. And I'm just thankful, to be here. And for any of you guys that are learning about attachment styles, just be reflective and willing to do the work on yourself to be the best you for not just your partner, but for yourself as well.
Excellent, excellent. Boss.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm driving, that's why I'm blacked out. But
Okay.
um, this attachment style, attachment theory is something that that I've definitely become very passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows I create, I post questions to, you know, make people, or force people, we should say, to pick a side and validate why they agree or feel one way or the other. And the reason for doing that is, one, I receive a lot of questions from other people. But the primary reason for doing that is so that we learn how to look in the mirror and take a stance on whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people tend to flow left or right depending on who says this or who says that. And I feel that, you know what I'm saying, we should stand strong in whoever we are. So
Mm.
with that being said, because I'm always doing some old wild, crazy, off the wall stuff, right? I think what I have a challenge for the team is, before the end of the year, let's create a relationship seminar, webinar. It won't be like this show where we're just having a discussion. It's going to basically be each.
Oh, you get to the good part and then you break up. Are you there?
Yeah.
Driving through this, but he must got T-Mobile.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Wow.
He must got
right.
T-Mobile.
Okay. Then I guess I'll do what I was asked, and we'll go ahead and wrap up the final thoughts. Mine is a very short one. If you want that good in your relationship, then you got to do that. You gotta do that work to get that good. It's just really that simple. When you see folks that got that glow on, and they happy and they giddy, and you don't get it because you never had
Yeah.
anything like that, it's because those people are
Yeah.
free to communicate, to say what's on their mind. They are free
Yeah.
to be autonomous individuals, to have friends, to go out, to travel, to live, knowing that their partner is secure enough that, in their love, to allow them to still experience the fullness of this life, and not
Yeah.
say because I'm in a relationship, then I got a dead living because I've committed to another human being. Like, it's if you want that good, do the work. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. So, Rob,
Double
you
up.
can
Double
you
up.
can give yours and then pass on to Jay, and then I'll turn it off.
All right. I'll leave y'all with this. Ladies, when a man wants you, he'll communicate it to you. Don't attach your
Hey.
don't attach yourself to a facade or what's going on as reinforcement of something not communicated.
Yes,
That's some
sir.
big shit right there. All right. It could be looking good. If it ain't communicated, baby, that's not for sure.
It ain't
So
the
Preach,
one.
Rob.
make sure you understand that going into it. Fellas, when she don't want you, it's okay. Don't attach yourself to worrying about what she do past that point, because she ain't yours. Good night.
Right.
It's a
That
lot of
drop,
brothers that
drop
be
the mic.
mad about, oh
Drop the
man,
mic.
these women don't want me. And bruh, why you
Oh
worrying about it?
man.
It's a million, trillion, billion women out here. Why you hung up
Yeah,
on
man.
one? Don't even worry
Right.
about it. Don't even
Yeah,
worry.
man. That's it. Yeah, it's just I'll just be real quick too. The heart bends how your thoughts trend, man. So while you over there fussing and doing all that, you're not really doing the work. You know what I'm saying? To be the best you can be. So when you do find her, you're ready to rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? So like while you over there whining and just stewing over the rejection, which really didn't have nothing to do with it, just not for you. Move on. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
with that, just with this whole tool thing, it's with understanding attachment theory and how to apply it. It just helps you just be honest with yourself. You have a rule. You have a vehicle now. You know what I'm saying? Even though you may not have know how to understand or communicate it, you have a vehicle. At least you're starting to understand where you at, right?
Yep.
Understand where you at, man, and then you start to be able to listen, effectively, and you know what I'm saying, and understand, and and again, like I talked about earlier, be able to see clearly through your emotion. You know what I'm saying? And you understand why you feeling what you feeling. You know what I'm saying? But you be able to do that at the same time, be able to move on and listen and be more present in the moment with the person that you're with. So yeah, it'll help you be more efficient in your existence.
Love it. Love it. Somebody put it. Why she don't want me?
Dead ass. I get tired of seeing them posts, man. I be like, bro, two people turned you down.
Yeah.
Two people turned you down. Two, bro. You two, and you over here like all women. Like, come on, chill, man. Like, it's not as serious.
Man don't want nobody he don't want either. So you have to understand that if you have women that like you and you don't like them, there's gonna be some women that you like that don't like you. I mean, that's just the odds, you know. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and everybody, if you have
he's breaking up good.
Title and the off, this is my pleasure. They have the summary audio books. They're like 15 to 20 minutes where somebody breaks down the book chapter by chapter. So if you don't have time to read the whole book, get the summary, take a couple notes, get you a journal, and jot down this stuff on this topic and a multitude of topics. The four agreements, the 7 spiritual gifts, all this type of stuff they have on these condensed audio books. Learn something, read, do the work. That's it. As always, we ask you to like, comment, follow, and share so that we can get more people in and keep on having these discussions.
Good.
So,
I'm sorry to break your flow, but you cut out a little bit, and you were telling everybody what all these good resources, but you cut out and you missed out on where to find that.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can breathe.
I'm sorry.
Finish it up. It's okay. What I was saying is, if you look up the book, attached and the author, I put it in the chat, and I'll go back on Facebook and add it in the chat so you can find it there. But there are PDFs of the book, there are summaries of the book, and what I found on YouTube is if you look up audio book summaries, they'll give you a 15 to 20 minute detailed breakdown of a complete audio book for those that don't have the attention span to read the entire book. So definitely spend some time on YouTube and listen to a summary book in the car, on the way to work, while you do your laundry, while you cook, and and get some of that, that good knowledge, that way. If Dak was here, he would say like, comment, follow, and share. He did talk about doing a clubhouse and having some more interaction. We appreciate y'all hanging with us with the chat format of our show, but we do plan on having some of our guests pop in and give their actual verbal opinion on some things. So please stick with us as we figure out what all this is gonna look like. And thank you again, Sam, for coming on and talking about this topic. And we're definitely gonna dig deeper because Dak got emotional and he's not ready to end this topic. So we're gonna deal with this one again. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Audience, thank you for rolling with us for 2 hours and 12 minutes, even though we always say it's going to be an hour and a half. Somehow we always get to this place. But thank you all, and good night.
Night.